here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I've got the whole crew here. I'm joined with Skratch AK-47 and Smiley TK. Smiley, what's up, man? It's been a minute. How you doing?
I've been doing well, man. I'm glad to be back on the channel. Just fun times as usual.
Yeah, dude, we're here to talk some blessings, some awakening. Skratch, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. Excited
Great.
about the new feature, awakening
Yeah.
and all the crazy stuff happening in the game at the moment.
Yes, I've been on vacation I just came back today, actually. So I've still been kind of in the scene, but I haven't watched a ton of other YouTube videos out there. So my opinions are pretty much just my own, right? I'm not really, don't have any, some group things. So I brought on you guys to chat about the quintessential, the best blessings you want to get and what type of champions you want to get them on. But first, real quick, guys, I want to get your overall impressions of this update. Like, what do you grade it? Maybe a quick, your favorite or the best and the worst part of the update. Feel free. Skratch, go first.
I like the awakening idea and stuff. I feel like the system is a bit busted in terms of how long will actually take for us to put our hand on the resources, especially the last soul stone, the eternal one, and the essence for it.
Yeah.
I hate the idea that they're selling the things, making it like another currency, like shards, So basically, they're introducing a gacha system into a gacha system that already had another gacha system. So that's kind of like how they're doing it. I'm not a big fan of the whole idea behind it because I feel like it's pushing a lot of the end game community away. A lot of people kind of like dropping the game again whenever this sort of updates are coming out. I love the idea of having something new to the game, something that's going to allow us to create kind of like different sort of small strategies, adding new passives to champions and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. The stats that you're getting from them are actually amazing. So I'm a 50-50 with the update. I'm positive towards the new content though.
Okay, so 50-50 with the update, positive to the new content. Smiley, what's your take on it?
I think Skratch pretty much nailed it in the head.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, what I do want to add though is I think it's just like the customization we have with all these champions is a really cool factor that's added to the game. But yeah, just like Skratch, I did like this, but the fact that it was added where you can actually buy the soul stones and whatnot, the currency to be able to make these, I guess, pull these, I think that was like kind of, it kind of made me lean towards a 50-50 as well, but yeah.
Yeah, man, I was going to record a video talking about this myself as well, but my quick take is love the feature. All the rest, I mean, I'm not going to repeat exactly what Skratch said so well. All the rest, it's just like, I do think that I've seen a lot of criticism talking about this is only an endgame feature. It's only going to help out endgame players. It's another whale feature in the game. I do think that the economy is pretty busted. Like they're way too expensive, in my opinion. But they can help out really anybody, right? And everybody playing this game. Like to me, and maybe you guys agree, maybe you disagree, feel free if you don't. But like I think these are good. Overall, the system itself, forget the economy just for a second. We can't do that, but for the sake of the argument, I'm actually a big fan of Awakening and Blessings. I think they're pretty cool, a lot of them. So we'll see. We'll see if anything happens in the future, if they change anything. But yeah, the cost especially, guys, man, is pretty expensive, buying these things is insanely. Like I would not advise, buying those $100 offers. Like that's insane. Anyway, here we go, guys. Let's talk about our favorite blessings. So, Smiley, go ahead and lead things off, man. We're gonna talk about our 9 must-have favorite blessings, and again, what type of champions to put them on. So go ahead, Smiley. What's your first one, man?
The first one I do want to talk about is going to be the Phantom Touch. So there are some other great options as far as damage that you can select from, such as like Crushing Rend or Cruelty, or even the Soul Reaper if you have a legendary that has that option. But for the most part, Phantom Touch is a nice, I guess you could say, a budget damage dealing blessing. But even so, it can compare pretty well against to the likes of a Cruelty and Crushing Rend, even because let's say an arena, you're going to do. Well, let me just go over the ability first because people might not know what it does, right?
Sure, so, it's a rare.
It's a rare. So you have a chance to inflict bonus damage to one enemy whenever the champion hits enemy targets. When hitting multiple targets at once, only one champion will receive the bonus damage. So the bonus damage here that's getting applied when you're at rank 6 Awakening is going to be a 100% chance of inflicting bonus damage, and you also have a 35% chance on top of that to inflict the second instance of bonus damage. So the bonus damage is going to be the let's say you have a damage of 6,000. That's going to be that extra as a bonus damage, right? And that's going to be comparable to the likes of a crushing Rend, or even the cruelty. I would say over. It's hard to, because it really depends where you're using it, whether it's in PvE or PvP, because there's a lot of factors here. But the downside to it would be that bonus damage only applies to one of the champions instead of like all of them if you're doing an AO ability. But as far as like numbers though, this is very, very comparable to a crushing Rend. So this is a really, really nice, I think a lot of people are going to be sleeping on this one, and I just wanted to make sure to throw it out there that this is a available option for people that maybe you have a rare champion, or you have an epic champion as a nuker per se, like a Magnar or something like that. That'll be a decent option there. So that is just another thing to throw out.
Okay, so Phantom Touch, a rare. I love that you let off with a rare here. So what type of rare champion would this be a go-to blessing for?
If we're talking arena, any arena nuking champion. So let's say you don't have a epic nuking champion, then this would be decent. But even on epic champions, it would be solid too. So like I said earlier, like a Magnar, that'll be pretty solid too. Okay. That's just like an example. Okay,
sounds great. Skratch, anything to add on Phantom Touch?
Yeah, so Phantom Touch will be most probably the main blessing to go for clan boss. So I'm running my Barrier comp, right? So Painkeeper is going to get it. I'm going to get Cruelty, which will be the blessing that I'm going to cover in just a second. I'm going to get Cruelty on a Man-Eater or a Seeker. Then Phantom Touch is going to go on all the rest of my epic champions. The damage that you're actually getting out of it is almost equaling a Wardmaster proc. So your damage is actually go to the next level, adding Phantom Touch to most of your champions. Of course, if you have a legendary, you're going to add a different one, which is going to give you tons of damage, which we're going to cover probably down the road. I think you actually have that blessing on. But this is actually a very, very powerful mastery. Blessing for clan boss as well,
All right, sounds good. So Phantom Touch is one of our favorite rare blessings. Skratch, you're up next, man. What do you have? You said Cruelty?
Yeah, so I'm going to dive into Cruelty.
All right.
Basically, you're going to be able to decrease the defense of your enemies. This works with AoEs, works with single targets. Whenever this champion hits an enemy, decreases their defense until the end of the round. Occurs once per hit. So if we're going to go all the way to 6-star, decreases target defense by 4% per hit, up to 40 for champions, up to 20 for bosses. So it's like landing a defense down on the boss once this actually stacks to full potential, Champions that I would use it, if I'm talking about Hydra, Geomancer, AoE attack with the A1, I'm going to land the defense down on everybody slowly. The rest of my team is going to bring in more damage. So this is that sort of blessing that I would mainly use on champions that don't necessarily deal a lot of damage. Champions that are not built with a lot of attack, because Phantom Touch will benefit those champions more. But all around, champions like, I say Man-Eater or Seeker in my clan boss team, I feel like I would get more damage out of a Seeker than a Man-Eater for some reason. So I would probably use it on a Man-Eater. And Geomancer is an awesome idea. Other champions, even, what's his name? Like, everyone's favorite, Deacon Armstrong. He could actually be pretty good with this as well, because he does have the defense down. He hits AoE. You could help to bring that defense down more on all the waves, and stuff like that.
True, and this one, it really highlights what a lot of these blessings do, is it gives you the ability to put, like, I guess, defense down is not something new. It's not something we don't have elsewhere in the game, but it gives you the flexibility and really the options as a player strategically, right, to make these choices.
Just want to have it on one champion, because this will do it for your entire team. So it's basically this champion with 5 hits, right, is going to decrease the defense on the boss by 20%. So all the rest of the team is going to benefit from it. So if you're talking about clan boss, you're definitely going to want to have Phantom Touch on most of them if you don't have any legendaries. If you have legendaries, you're going to want to come in with the big boys and bring in Brimstone. Is probably the best PvE blessing in the entire game. Yeah.
All right, we'll get to Brimstone in a little bit. Anything to add on Cruelty there?
Yeah, so I think Skratch made a really great point earlier when I talked about the Phantom Touch, about the PV aspect, having everybody else in the Phantom Touch. But one thing I do want to add on here is that, so you said it's an additional 20% decrease on the bosses, right?
Yeah, it's 20 on the bosses, 40 on other champions. Yeah.
Okay, so I think one thing to keep in mind when when people are testing this damage is that, again, Phantom Touch is going to be it's going to be a lot of damage. It's going to be your your bonus damage, right? So the cruelty, the thing is, a clan boss doesn't have that much defense to begin with, 1,520. So if you have a defense down and they're already at the 60%, I don't know if that's multiplicative of the 20%. Do you know if that's true, Skratch? Or
I'm
is it
not
like
sure
an straight up
exactly
additional?
how it adds at the moment because I haven't
Okay.
looked that much into it, but it's still gonna benefit, especially if you're not gonna constantly have that defense down.
Yeah,
Just to
that's
have
for
it on
sure.
one champion, you know. So
Right.
usually, how you said, the clan boss doesn't have a lot of defense. Bringing in a Savage set won't make a massive difference. Like a War Master proc without defense down is gonna do 39k. With Savage, is gonna do 41k. So it's not gonna be a lot of damage. But if you're gonna add up 50 turns and add hits from each one of the champions, adding up for 50 turns, that's actually gonna bring in quite a bit of extra damage if you're crossing the line at the end, you know. So it's good to have it on a champion, I think.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting that we haven't talked a ton about the stats yet on these, but these stats, like, they're really significant, you know, on pretty much all of these, you know, depending on the champion. So I'm going to go with Chaos. Speaking of Brimstone, let's go with it right now. 4-turn cooldown whenever this champion attacks. Each hit has a chance to place a smite debuff for 2 turns. Champions under the smite debuff will be hit by a meteoroid, which is super, super cool when they use an active skill. It inflicts a damage equal to 25% of the affected champion's max HP. Also inflict damage to all other champions with a 5% of their max HP. Only 1 smite debuff can be active per team. Cannot be removed, blocked, resisted, or transferred. Dude, this one is insane, guys. Like, I read all of the blessings, and obviously I got to Chaos Brimstone, the very last one. And granted, there's a lot of great blessings in this game, but this was the one I was like, I wasn't blown away necessarily until I saw this bad boy, and I'm like, man, this is like a must-have, like on a PvE nuker, right? Like this is, or an arena nuker for that matter, right? So just an insanely good ability here for extra damage. It seems like this would be like one of the best blessings overall in the game. So you also get HP, accuracy, and speed as well. Got thoughts?
It doesn't even have to be a DPS champion. It could be on like a support champion. It could be on like any champion really. Because like I even use it in a Krisk. I was testing it on my Krisk for against the Twins Fortress fight, and man, it does so much damage. It's insane. And the other thing is, I was actually considering using this on my Warlord for my plat pushing as well, because I think this could be pretty interesting there. But because the accuracy really stuck out to me, and there's not too many of these blessings that have a lot of accuracy. There's like 3 maybe, I think, that have the if you can get it there. But the smite was like a really, really nice addition as well. So
yeah, Skratch, what do you think about this one?
Definitely the most powerful for PvE. I wouldn't use it on damage dealers. I would use it on Krisk. I would use it on Lydia, this sort of support champions, Mother Sibel, champions like this that don't really have many other benefits from other blessings for Hydra. So the way it works is on a 4-turn cooldown, right? If you have it on 2 champions, you're going to be able to constantly keep it on the bosses, basically. So every turn you're going to have that meteor coming in and smacking. Is actually very, very solid. It deals around 250k damage on Ultra Nightmare on the clan boss, and on Hydra Nightmare 100k per each head.
Whoa.
Every turn. So it's a lot of damage. It brings a lot of damage. I'm not sure how much it deals on the new dungeon boss because I haven't tried it out. And based on difficulties, it's gonna deal slightly less damage. For Arena, on the other hand, I tried it, and the damage is very underwhelming. So it's not going to bring a lot of damage. Like, it was doing 2-3k damage on a Duchess, you know, so that really put me off.
So what is the very, very best blessing to get on your Arena Nuker? Like a legendary? Or anything, or any. Yeah.
Well,
I would go for Soul Reaper, probably, which we're going to get in a second.
Yeah. We're going to segue into
You know what? Yeah, that's actually the next one on the list, so let's go for it. Any final thoughts on Brimstone, though?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Simply put, amazing.
Is the creme de la creme, you know?
PvE beast, yeah.
All right, well, let's just get right to it here. Who had the Soul Reap?
Soul Reap, right? So I'm going to crack on it. You're getting attack, you're getting crit damage on your nuker, right? How I mentioned before, I haven't mentioned it in the video. At the moment, we're lacking blessings for defense nukers, for HP nukers. So we don't have blessings for every type of champion in the game. I'm pretty sure down the line they're going to introduce more blessings. So Soul Reaper is amazing for nukers, right? You're getting all the extra stats, but basically what's happening here, when this champion hits an enemy target and decreases their HP to a certain threshold, 4%, 8%, 14%, or 20% at 6 stars, you summon a Dark Reaper, which will come in and finish the enemy, right? So it's gonna deal as much damage as is left from what's summoned. Now, if by any chance that target survives, and probably people are wondering how the target can survive if the Reaper deals the left amount of HP on the target. Swift parry, block unkillable, or something like that can keep her alive. So what's happening, you're gonna place a true fear, 100% chance to do it, and you don't need accuracy for this, okay? It's just gonna land on the target, so you're gonna have true fear on the enemy if he survives with a swift parry or something like that. So it's freaking powerful, you know? But you need to take the target down to, if you have it at 6 star, to have 20% HP left. And that's a good cleanup a lot of times, because maybe you don't have enough firepower to kill the target. Maybe I'm gonna encounter champions that have a reaction, right? So my first hit is not gonna crit. My second hit is gonna crit, but I don't have enough damage to kill it. Well, guess what? If I take it down to that 20%, my Reaper is gonna do it for me. So this is actually a very, very powerful one for PvP, for nukers.
Love it. That's going to be so cool. I can't wait to try this one. So this is the go-to on Arena Nuker for both you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Any additional thoughts there on that one, Smiley, and Soul Reap?
One thing I want to add is, from my understanding, that a lot of you might be wondering. So these true fears, these debuffs that take place, these kind of work like a set item where you don't need accuracy. So it's going to work separately from your accuracy, from what I understand. Is that, do you guys know if that's confirmed?
It's the same like set items. You don't need accuracy to land the debuffs from the blessings. Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind for all of you out there.
Do not need accuracy, similar to like a stun set, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. All right. So next up, Smiley, you're up, man.
Okay, I'm gonna jump over to everyone's favorite here. It might be everyone's favorite. It's Polymorph. So you have a chance of placing a sheep debuff on enemy champion for 2 turns whenever they place a debuff on the champion or removes or steals debuff or buffs from them. And this debuff cannot be blocked, resisted, and whatnot. So this is an interesting. This is probably going to be something a lot of people are going to be testing this arena plat push this weekend, and I'm also going to be testing it myself because I really want to know, like. The thing is, it's a very low percentage of sheep, and the way it works is like when you pretty much when you sheep them and they come back to life after you down it, basically, or if they wake up or whatever, they're gonna come back with 50% HP, and you pretty much have to kill them again. But the thing is, if I want to put this on, I'm not going to use this on offense. It's going to be something I use on defense, and ideally, I would like to put this on my champions that are going to be very, very tanky and survive for a long time. So, like say like a Duchess or someone like that, and it's gonna make people think twice when they hit your team. In my opinion, like it's gonna make me think twice when I attack someone that has a polymorph on defense. But it's just something that I want to play around with, like as far as like mind games. So I am curious on how this is going to perform. But I think this is a really, really definitely a neat blessing. I think
it's a neat one, but this one, this was one of my most underwhelming legendary. Like maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know. But and you hit it the nail on the head there, like the 20% for a sheep on a, and then like you said, they come back to life anyway with 50% HP. I don't know if it's like, I just can't see going with Polymorph or over the other choices that we have. You know, Skratch, you be the tiebreaker here. What do you think?
I think it's just a troll blessing. So basically, the way it works, right, is a 20% chance is pretty low to happen. But when it happens, it's only going to happen after the enemy champion already did his skill. So you blocking that champion afterwards is pointless because he already used his skill. He's not a threat anymore, right? He debuffed you already. He did something to you in order for this to come in play. So basically what you're going to do, instead of keeping that champion there so you're going to be able to kill him or whatever you're planning to do with it, you're going to make him unkillable for 2 turns instead, and you're going to bring him back to life after, you know? So he already used his skill. He's not a threat to you anymore because he did his bidding, you know? So
that's a good point.
You're kind of CCing, you're getting a 20% chance to CC them, kind of. After they use skill. After
they CC'd you, you know? So if it was before they CC you, then it will be amazing, you know? Because, okay, I get to stop him. And then it's fine if I'm gonna make him unkillable for 2 turns. It's not a problem because at least I counter his skill. But he used his skill on me already, so Madame Series landed that defense down and attack down on me. So it's pretty pointless now to counter her.
Yeah, Madame Sarah,
So-
she comes in, she removes all your buffs, she places all her debuffs, and then she gets turned into a sheep. Who cares, right?
Exactly.
Hold on.
Do we have that right? Yeah, go ahead.
No. I got to debate this real quick. So, look, my mindset is, let's say, because like a lot of times when you face a deep, so obviously you're not going to use this on offense because it's going to be more of like something you want for a stall purpose. So a lot of times I find myself being debuffed by a Kymar, right? And then I get to cleanse my Kymar, or I get to cleanse my champion that is slept, or let's say my Cupidus team that I've been using recently, and let's say they wrap back around with the reset, and then they go back to the Kymar, and then they can put me back to sleep again. So I'm thinking of like aspects of like that'll kind of help with that. But I don't know.
But
it's just something
I mean, Smiley. Dude, you're absolutely right in that scenario, but like that's a pretty niche scenario. I mean,
yeah,
like, you're gonna take a legendary blessing on a 20% chance to make Kymar a sheep on the second go round. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. So the way I'm looking at it is there's not that many blessings in here that give you a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
and you only going to put
that.
on. You only get a certain amount of champions you're going to put like certain blessings on. Let's say, for example, like the intimidating presence that we didn't get to yet. You're only going to put that on one champion because it only works on one, right? So there's not that many resistance based stuff that you can apply. So that's something that kind of made me lean towards this to just try out. But yeah, that's kind of like the one niche scenario I guess you could think of that I wanted to test it on. But yeah, I mean, you guys made a great point though. But yeah.
But you know what? I think that, to your credit though, I think that you're right. It'd be interesting to get the 50 resist, the 1000 HP, the 4, like the stats on this one are solid. Put it on a go second team and just hope that, forget about removing, or excuse me, forget about getting debuffs placed on you. You just have a high resist team or whatever, and you're just turning them into sheep, here and there, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked enough about the pig, about Polymorph. Moving on to, let's see, I'm up. So let's go with Crushing Rend right above this. This is an epic one. So each round, a number of this champion's hits will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. Love ignoring defense. The percentage ignored depends on the level of the target. So we have the full bonus being at level 6. Each hit will ignore a percentage of the target's defense, 1% defense for every 10 levels. You're getting crit damage, you're getting HP, you're getting speed, and you're getting attack. Really like this ability. And especially against, think about the levels on PvE, right? Like, they go up to like 300 or higher, So that's really going to add up to a ton of extra ignoring defense. I can't wait to try this on. It seems like this one is built for a nuker, like an all-out dungeon nuker. Speed your way through Crushing Rend. Love it. Thoughts?
Yeah. So this is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. This is definitely one of the best for PvE as well. Really amazing for Hydra that goes up to 310 in levels, right? So you're gonna ignore 31% of the defense. And considering how we're building our nukers for Hydra, Relentless, Reflex, like Royal Guards, Husks, this is the perfect blessing for those champions.
Yeah.
Perfect blessing for Seer. You're getting the extra 3 damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I heard all sorts of things that it might not work with her Karma burn. I'm not gonna believe it till I try it. It's gonna take a while, maybe, just to be able to get the stars up to 6 stars on Seer. Who knows? Maybe one of you guys get lucky. So
yeah, you let us know. The first person that does it in 2030, you guys let us know in the
hit me in Discord and we'll talk about it. But this is gonna be amazing for this sort of scenarios. For clan boss is the one thing that you wanna stay away from. So if you want something for clan boss, go back to Cruelty, Phantom Touch. Get Cruelty on 1 champions out of the 5. Phantom Touch on 4-3 if you have legendaries, Brimstone. But don't take this on the clan boss because it's going to be pretty pointless. Same like a Savage set,
Given the levels obviously cap out at 60 in PvP in the arena, I don't see this as like a massive PvP blessing. Or do you guys disagree with me there?
I think for PvP, you kind of have to look at this and say it's basically like a cruel set because it's going to ignore 6% of defense for the 60 levels that are available there, right? So that's pretty much how you have to view this. Let's say you don't have a legendary champion, you can't go with the Soul Reap, then I guess like one of the next best options would definitely be Crushing Rend. For someone like I feel like a Magnar or like a hard hitting nuker like that. So Yeah, it's really, really good on like the Hydra boss. Like it's really, really strong against like the high level areas in the game. And like Skratch said, besides like the clan boss, yeah, basically.
All right, cool. I don't know why I had myself. What was
Gamble,
that?
Skullcrown,
Yeah.
Skullcrown, these champions
Yeah.
are going to benefit a lot. But for
True.
Arena, it really becomes more effective once is at 6 stars because you're going to get to ignore
Yes.
1 defense for every 10 levels, so
True.
6%.
Yeah.
And it becomes pretty good for these champions, you know. So definitely, it's not a sleep off.
So that is
blessing.
So that is one thing I do want to add on though. Like a lot of this is just we're talking mainly based on it being a tier 6, like a Awaken 6, and a lot of it does scale differently. And that's something to take into consideration when you want to select which which blessing you want to go with, depending on what awakening you have.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Definitely read before you invest on any of these. All right, I don't know why I had myself going back to back, but here we go. So I went with, I think somebody had to go with it. It's Intimidating Presence. So it's this aura. There's an epic version of this too. What is the epic one? Is it Iron Will? No.
Commanding Presence, yeah.
Commanding Presence. So they're the aura ones. So strengthens your team's aura and weakens the enemy's team aura. If multiple champions on the same team, blah, 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 blah. You can read that. But basically you can see at 6 stars, strengthen your team's aura by 35%, weaken the enemy's team aura by 20%. You're also getting resist, HP, defense, and speed here. I mean, is this I'm going to just start with a question to you guys, then we'll talk more about it. Is this mandatory for one champion on every arena team?
I would say so. For your offense team, yeah. It's a huge boost, man. So
it's so
good.
You're gonna be able to win speed fights now because of this. So
I mean,
even if you're going with accuracy, you're going with a Raman 2 lead, you're going against some resistance lead. That's gonna benefit you quite a lot as well. So all around, this is an amazing blessing.
Speed, resist, accuracy. I mean, amazing stuff, right? And especially the weaken your enemy's team as well. That's going to be a big difference maker. I mean, you could be talking about like 15 speed differential, like gain lost off of the 6 star. I really love this one. It's not like earth shattering in terms of the strategic implications, but it will make a big difference overall. Smiley, do you have anything on this one to add?
No,
it's pretty basic.
It's pretty basic. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, that would be really, really cool to have, at least on one champion.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Temporal Chains, right? This is actually another awesome one that you can have on your PvP team. It's not necessarily going to be as powerful for PvE. I wouldn't really think about using it on any champions for PvE just for that particular thing. But basically, decreases each enemy speed for each active buff they are under, right? So the High Awakening decreases thermometer as well. So you get to instantly decrease the thermometer of all enemies by 15 whenever any enemy receives a 3rd active buff. Sifi, Duchess, these sort of champions, here we come for you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to decrease their speed by 5% for each active buff up to 15%, This is actually pretty solid if you want to win in the speed fight. And just all around to have it on champions that can cut on the enemy. Warlords, Kaimars, Yumekos, these sort of champions are the key champions to have this mastery. Blessing, in my opinion. I keep calling them masteries.
I do the same thing. I totally agree with you. I have this one. I think we all had this one on our lists. Anything to add on this one, Smiley? Temporal Chain?
No, it's definitely, it's really, really good. It's actually one of the, so I'm going to segue into mine, I guess. So it was this one and this other one I was going to debate between. So originally I was going to cover the faultless defense, but I want to do that as a bonus later if we get to it. So what I'm going to switch to right now is going to be Ward of the Fallen. We didn't have anybody cover that, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So
it's
Ward
awesome
of the
that
Fallen,
you did, though.
Yeah. So Ward of the Fallen is
Bone armor.
Yeah, massive damage reduction, right? Bone armor is going to give you, so each stack of bone armor is going to give you more with the damage reduction there. So 20% damage reduction from bone armor, and it stacks. So you can gain these bone armor back if you get to the tier 6, which is the 6th awakening. Every time you're going to inflict bonus damage when attacking, and the bonus damage as a bone armor stack. So when you get to the tier 5, you get additional 30%, or actually you get the 30% damage reduction from that, and it's such a good so it makes you really, really tanky. And that's something else I want to consider putting on my one of my beefy champs that I want to stay alive, or someone like, it was between that and the temporal, like we said earlier. But yeah, that's a really, really, really good blessing for sure.
This bonus damage on the last one, so bonus damage adds 1 bone armor stack. That's not, I mean, you're putting this on like a Duchess, right? Like all the way, right? And the bonus damage is just like kind of nice to have, basically, to add the stack.
Well, the bonus damage is proportional to your champion's attack, so it's going to be similar
weird,
to the.
No?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's very similar in the way the. I believe it was the Phantom. No, it wasn't the Phantom Touch. There was something else.
Phantom Touch is based on attack as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar to that. So it is a decent damage, but it's really optional.
But it's mainly like, this gives you the luxury, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, okay, so why wouldn't I just use Stone Skin, you know? But this allows you to still use an artifact set like Bolster or whatever, and then basically have the built-in bone armor. That's going to be really annoying, man. This is what's going to be really annoying in the arena. Any champions that you're dying to try this on, guys?
I think, I mean, I'm definitely going to be trying it on possibly my Duchess. It was between this, the Temporal Chains, and the Polymorph that I was going to touch this plat reset. So I think I might lean towards the word. I'm not sure yet.
All right.
Because I don't actually have Stone Skin on it right now, but I think this would be kind of cool.
Do you have a Duchess 6-star?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm saying for the first part of it, the 20% reduction, right?
Okay, gotcha. I'm like, wow, dude, that's pretty cool. All right,
No.
Well, those are our 9. Then we have. I'm not going to repeat it. All right. Is there anything that we didn't discuss, guys? Any mastery that we didn't I called it mastery. Damn it! Any blessing that we didn't discuss that you guys wanted to take a quick mention of?
Just a couple of things that I want to add on a Word of Fallen. So, I've tested this quite a bit yesterday. Actually, it feels like either is a bug with it, either the damage reduction is not as real as it might sound. So it's nothing comparable to a Stone Skin. Don't imagine it that is gonna behave in the same way. When you're stacking your bone armor, right? Each time you get a hit, it doesn't matter how much damage you're getting from that hit. That bone armor cracks. Okay, so you're losing it. So just imagine you have an arbiter coming in with the A1 on your Duchess. Bang, she dropped down 2 bone armors. Then you have another champion coming in. They completely dropped your bone armor down, and it's gone. It's not very efficient as a damage reduction blessing. But how I mentioned, the damage that I've seen coming in through it, it almost felt like there is no damage reduction there whatsoever, even with 3 bone armor actives, okay?
Okay.
So this was on the test server, right? So I'm not able to test this on a 6-star on the actual game to see if anything changed since they gave us the build on the test server where we were able to test. I've seen quite a few other ones got bugged and they got fixed in mini patches that we had for the last few days that they haven't really got mentioned anywhere. So a lot of people might not be familiar necessarily with that some of them were bugged, but they were. So I'm not sure if is the case for it. It does sound like it should have a lot of damage reduction, right? Like having on 6-star, all that damage reduction is massive, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't behave like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good note there. Any blessings?
So the one I originally wanted to do
Faultless defense
was the Faultless Defense. So
yeah, another rare. Yeah,
it's another rare, and it's like a nice damage reduction from subsequent hits and multi hits. So let's say like a Trunda or a Hefrag or something along those lines. It's like a nice way to have a permanent damage reduction from that rather than relying on the bone armor. And we had another one with that we didn't talk about, Iron Will, but that one is a little bit different. It's based off of the activated skills. But this one's like there's no cooldown for this one at all. So it's like a nice way to reduce some damage at the very least. Yeah. So I think it's very underrated and I think it's decent.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be very powerful for clan boss teams on a affinity clan boss because the clan boss hits you so many times. So the way this one works, the first hit, you're going to do the normal damage. The second hit, the third hit, the fourth, fifth, sixth, how many you're getting, they're going to bring in the damage reduction. So thinking about 35% on a Tranda, how he mentioned, on the second hit is a pretty good damage reduction. The first hit is still going to hit in full force, you know, but
that's a lot actually, though.
It is a lot. And probably this might be one of the good ones to go on for some of the legendary champions for arena defense at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm honestly not 100% sure if the World of the Fallen was just bugged there. Is a bug with it in the entire game, and it hasn't been discovered because not many people
No one
were
yeah.
able to test it to full 6 stars, you know. But we're gonna get to see. But that's a pretty good blessing as
It's
well.
a good call out though regarding the arena like defense team. You know, all the multi hitters out there. Cool. I like that we covered another rare too. By the way, before I let you guys go, just a quick question. I want to talk about like 3 of the most popular champions in the game and talk to me about like what is your favorite blessing for them. I want to start with the brand new champ, Mr. Ultimate Death Knight. What would you choose for a blessing on him? I know it's going to be tough depending on where you're primarily using these champions, but just how would you personally?
I think I would go for Brimstone on that night.
Okay.
I was thinking
Smiley?
Brimstone, so yeah, I was thinking Brimstone.
There we go. Brimstone, I think it's, you know, why not? Why not add that damage, right? All right.
Good all around, yeah.
Yep. Okay, we already talked a little bit about it, but Geo?
Geomancer, I would go probably for Cruelty, just to be able to drop the defense down on Hydra heads and whatever else I'm using the champion, you know, pretty much there. And the new boss actually is pretty strong there.
Smiley, you agree?
Yeah, I think Cruelty is solid too. I just love Brimstone so much. I just want to use it on every single thing. But there's only so much you can stack, right? Because you can't have multiple champions with it. It doesn't make no sense, but I mean, you could try to get like that overlapping, like to have it all the time, but you can't have it more than one. So yeah. I love Brimstone so much.
And what would this video be without Seal the Drakes? What would you pick for Seal the Drakes?
Oh, Seal of the Drakes. That's actually a good one.
This is a tough one because you could go so many different directions, you know? We talk about.
That's actually a good one. So I think Brimstone is pretty good on her as well.
See, we're seeing how good Brimstone is right now. It's like...
Intimidating presence could be beneficial as well if you try to use her for arena, but I feel like Brimstone is going to be the one to go for, you know? Because it brings so much damage on all the bosses. You're going to use Seal of the Drakes to carry your ass through dungeons, through faction wars, through Doom Tower, pretty much all these areas of the game. And if you're going to get the Awakening for Seal of the Drakes, you're going to be able to pick any blessing that you want, you know? It's not like you're going to have to stick with rare or legendary so people can be like, I cannot afford to get that one. Brimstone is going to bring you the biggest benefit out of it for PvE, you know.
On commanding presence and on intimidating presence, are you guys using that on basically the champion that you don't have another great blessing to choose? Like, meaning that like you don't, because it's going to go on a champion that, you know, not necessarily has the strongest aura, but a champion that you're not going to want to put Brimstone or whatever on, you know what I'm saying?
I think you I think you kind of nailed it for me because I do have one open champion that I'm planning to use the intimidating presence for this arena reset. So, and that champion I don't really need anything for particularly, and that's like the one open spot I had for that. So,
all right. Well, hey, fellas, I won't take up too much more or any more of your time now. You're officially off the hook. Thank you so much for coming on, talking blessings with me. So much information. Two of the most knowledgeable guys in all of Raid Shadow Legends. Obviously, as you've seen in this video, guys, Skratch AK47, Smiley TK. I'll have both of their channels listed in the show notes below for you guys. Make sure you check them out. Toss them a subscription and check out their content. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.